Hey, it's MoeMovies 2, the sequel. Because let's face it, these days, every movie needs a sequel. Oh, and speaking of sequels, I am here to review one for you today. This is my review of American Reunion. It's been a long time coming, but it's great to see all of the original cast back together on screen. The last legitimate American Pie movie, American Wedding, had a few characters MIA. Now everyone is back on board, which makes perfect sense because, after all, the movie's called American Reunion. Now, you probably want to know if this is a tasty slice of pie, or more along the lines of the direct-to-DVD sequels, which, other than some really hot bodies that would have benefited from some 3D, really sucked. American Reunion is better than American Wedding, but not as good as the first two in the series. I thought American Wedding was okay. Good for a few laughs, and it had its heart in the right place, but it was inferior to the previous installments. Now, most of this movie, as you might expect, is a series of raunchy sex and gross-out jokes, and Sean William Scott Stifler is running the show pretty much the whole time, while the real story takes a back seat for most of the movie. There is some really hilarious stuff here, but it starts to grow old, but just as my attention started to wane, the third act kicked in, and it really started to show some heart. It made me feel nostalgic for the original, and being the sensitive guy that I am, I have to say there were even a few moments that I could describe as being touching. It's when the movie slows down with the gags and really allows the characters to reconnect and examine their lives and the fact that they no longer are in high school anymore. This movie really connected with me. There is some setup in the beginning as far as the story arc of these characters goes, but it's minimal. But at least there is a payoff in the end. The main thread is Jim's relationship with Michelle after having a child. And being parents, they forgot how to be lovers, so their sex life is really lacking, and it's affecting their relationship. Oz, as a sportscaster, married to some shallow, pill-popping bimbo, and has forgotten his true self, but when he reconnects with his ex Heather, who is also married, it becomes clear that there are still feelings there between them that need to be resolved. Stifler is still Stifler, but by the end, I think he starts to realize that he might want to grow up a little. So should you jump in your car and rush out to see it? It's not so great you need to be in a rush to see it, but if you like the American Pie films, excluding the straight-to-DVD flicks, then I think you'll find plenty to enjoy here. Does it need to be seen in a theater, or can you wait for it to come out on Blu-ray? Well, I don't think you'll feel cheated if you go to see it in the theaters. With the price of admission, you could probably wait and pick it up on disc in an unrated version with bloopers and deleted scenes to spare. So you might possibly get more for your money that way, if you go that route. I'm glad I saw it. I had fun, and if you're a fan, then you might want to check it out. If you were still in your mother's womb when the first one was released, then you need to see the first one, at least to really appreciate American Reunion. Because this really isn't a standalone movie, but it's really a movie made for the fans of the original.